Hello everybody, welcome back. SOE Lysander by Historic Wings, designed by Thomas Van Hare. This is part 3. Hopefully I've got everything back together. I went to fire up the game today and somehow when I closed out yesterday I did not save my game. Fortunately, I've been recording, so it's easy to put everything back together again. And basically all it is put the calendar back together and the log sheet. So no harm, no foul. So we are on the 14th now, and my calendar down here. We had advanced the day. Well, that was weird. Yeah, sometimes facile. Make sure I have my preferences. Yeah, I like to have that at 1024. That may help things. All right, not that I know a lot. Let's minimize that, maximize that. There we go. Now we're back to normal. Um, that screwed me up, didn't it? Next day, see if I can get the SOP out here and figure out exactly where we're at. We did move and place the night markers, so we're going to choose a mission. And as of right now, we only have our hard mission left to go, but that could change. We can still roll for special missions yet. So this is going to be the one I'm going to choose. It's the 14th. See, I didn't move this. That's something I didn't do yet. 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. We're on the 5th night. Yeah, that's right. We've got 5 good nights and another. I mean, we're getting this mission done, or we're at least going to keep trying. And see how it goes. Right to the bitter end. Anyway, we chose our mission. Let's see what our weather looks like. First roll for current weather. 26. That's not a bad roll, I don't think. Rain. That's not horrible to take off in. I don't think. I'm not an expert on this game yet, but I'm never an expert. I forget things. 36 is heavy cloud for the landing zone. Yeah, we're getting a little bit. This is probably one where I'm going to say we're not flying. I'll look at the counters and see. We still got to roll one more, don't get me wrong. Rain to take off in. -2. Heavy clouds to land in, and there's a good chance that it's going to take place. That's actually better than rain. That's still doable. If that's the worst weather I can get, that's still doable. And then Tangmere on the way back. 45, clear. Oh, we gotta try this. I'd be a fool not to try this. Because really the worst that can happen is as I get to landing zone, the weather could deteriorate on that second weather roll. But the first weather roll will always get me right back towards the heavy clouds, which really is only a -1. And I'm willing to take that chance, I think. So yeah, we're gonna decide to try it. What's the worst that can happen? Ha! Famous last words. Drink a coffee here. I'll be right back. All right. So if we decide to try, roll in C9, and we are trying. I am a stubborn one. We roll say on, say off. We get a 2, say off. So the decision's been taken out of my hands. We take the current weather and the Tangmere weather and the landing zone weather off. We knock another day into our calendar. We go to the 15th. And we knock the next day right here. So we start all over again. We roll for weather. And at Tangmere, current weather is 46, which is good weather, if I am not mistaken. How quickly we forget, but I do forget a lot. 46, clear weather. That's good weather to take off in, obviously. Landing zone weather, this is the big roll. I'll try anything coming back, but landing zone is the key. 55, clear. Oh boy. And Tangmere for coming back home, 65, socked in. Yeah, about that. I'll try socked in on the return though. It's worth a try. Socked in, that's socked in, right? Yes. I'll try that. That's not bad. The return trip is always we're not as heavily loaded, and hopefully we can save some of our skills for landing. So I'm willing to take the risk that my weather won't get that bad by the time we get back to Tangmere. Famous last words. These are decisions you got to make. Yes, I have a lot of chances, but will I get another roll like this? I'm not quite sure. That's awesome right there. That's not so much. And basically, we're committing to once we get over there. If the weather goes south in a hurry, we're committed. So let's see what we get. Say on, say off, because we want to give it a go. Die roll is one, taken out of my hands again. So I don't have the choice. They said it's off. Maybe the guys in the landing zone aren't ready. Whatever it is, I don't know. We're going to go to the next day. The next day is the 16th. We're again going for stationer. Current weather 34, another good roll for taking off. That's wind. I forget which one's wind. I do not have these memorized. Some of them I do, some of them I don't. Wind. Yeah, I got the right one. Pretty self-explanatory for the most. All right, that's our current weather. This is the big one. Landing zone weather 23, wind and rain. Yeah, that's not looking as good. Can take damage on that. Got to roll for the last one. Tangmere 26, rain. There's a good chance that we've got to try to land in that, and we will be taking damage if we get into that. And we still have 2 more good days. There's a good possibility, though, that we're going to be landing in no less than heavy clouds and wind. But if we get all the way down to here and start taking damage on the way, and there's also a good chance for doing that. Wind and clouds first. Clouds and wind. Clouds and wind first, yes. There's a very good chance we're going to wind up with this. We can always turn around, though. We're not going to get any better. That I can guarantee you. Wind. Wind also affects which roll is that? Wind. Of course. Yes, -2. Good chance we're going to get turned around on this. But you know what? Let's do it for extra flight hours. Let's take a chance. Worst can happen. We turn around. 6. We are sailing. Tangmere card to the left edge. And we are a 7 and 2, so the 7th card. Well, let's get you know what? First off, yeah, we did already shuffle them. First is a channel card, second's a channel card, then we're going to get 4 France cards. And then the last is the landing zone card. I'm going to turn all these over. This is where I'm getting ahead of the game every time. I'm putting all my cards out first, but I lose track of things easily. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're actually supposed to fill out your boy, I wonder what that was. My volume just picked up on me all of a sudden. Not sure why. Anyway, let's see here. Well, let's go put our weather out. That's these steps. So we've got wind, current. Landing zone is wind, rain, and clouds. Wind with rain and clouds. Yeah, wind with rain. And that goes over here. And then our Tangmere forecast is just plain rain. This will also give us cover from our encounters too. Don't forget that there's, as long as it looks doable, I just want to stay away from the red damage if I can. Let's see here. Next up, we did our weather. Now we're doing the assignments chart. Anything I want to get rid of. I get one freebie. This one's pretty crowded. This one's pretty crowded. Ten or less. Actually, I can fly high and deal with the. I do not deal with night fighters. This one I stand a chance at it, just getting small arms fire. That one's definitely going. I'm going to discard that one and draw another France card. Night fighters. Oh boy. 5 or less, though. And the weather could be bad there. That could make that a 3 or less. I'll take that chance. Right here, low altitude. Hopefully by then we've got some poor weather that could take that down to a 3 and that down to a 7 maybe. I don't want to use up too many cards. We could use 6 cents. I do have a decent amount of 6 cents, but I don't want to blow all that together. Tell you what, let's go ahead and get our plane ready to fly. I will use the 6 cents to try to get rid of this card right here. Discard that, draw another France. 3 or less, that's not horrible, or 4 or less if I go high. The nav -3 sucks. But you know what? We're going to go for it. If worse comes to worse, we turn back. That's the other thing I still haven't used. I've done this several practice games and stuff, and I have not used reverse course yet or anything yet. They're dangerous to do though, because I think when you do all that, you start running into where you don't know what's up ahead. deviate. If you feel the next TC ahead is particularly hazardous, such as threats are great, and you must fly at L, and ahead of you is Hills TC, you may choose to deviate. Deviate, you remain on the current TC for one additional round and place a deviate chit above below the TC. Then you draw a new TC randomly from the deck and place it face up above below the next TC. Thus, when you deviate, you spend another round in the current TC rather than moving forward, and thus, like orbiting, it takes 20 minutes, use a fuel point, and you conduct threat rolls for the current TC. Once you deviate, the newly drawn TC is placed above below the next TC. In the next round, you proceed onto the newly drawn TC normally. Note that when you do deviate while off course, does not mean that the remaining TCs ahead will be flipped face up. They are face down. They will remain that way. So you can deviate, and then you can choose once you know what that one is. Face up, and then you can choose which one to go into. That's not a bad deal. We want to, like I said, we're going for this. We're kind of committed already. So this is the flight plan I'm going to go with. So now I'll go up here and I'll reshuffle the decks back in. Bad stuff can still happen. Operation name, we're going to stationer. Let's make this Operation Writer's Block. What date did I say we were on? Calendar 16th. I'm horrible. That's why I need a calendar. Put 2100 right now. Actually, let's just put 21 there. Roll D6, 5, 10 minutes times, yes, times D6. 2150 will be our initial takeoff time. MAB, Axel Mitchell. And we're going to go Operation Writer's Block. We have on our assignment 3 cargo and 3 passenger on the way. That's why I want to try this, because it is going to be a very difficult mission. 3 cargo, comma, 3 packs. It is going to be a very difficult mission to make. And then on the way back, documents and 1 passenger. So it's not bad on the way back, which is why I'm willing to take my chances. So we'll see how it goes. Worst comes to worst, we just start all over again. I think that's ready. So record selected mission circuit. We've done that. Oh, no, I didn't. I forgot to put stationer. I do forget a lot of things. Just still a lot going on. Mine's starting to get back into the flow of things slowly but surely, but I'm still just kind of a little off. It's all right. It's all right. One way to get back into it, that's to get back into it. Coffee break. Be right back. All right. Pilot packs, cargo chits, and the flight management table. So we're going to put these down here. I'm also going to put these over by the landing zone, like so. I'm going to load this up. So cargo 1, cargo 2, cargo 3. We got a -2. Again, I like to leave them offset so I can see my modifiers here. Passenger 1, sniper. Passenger 2, escape line director, and another mascot. Oh, excuse me. No damage. How much fuel to carry? We've got 14 cards. I'd like to at least have 4. It's not going to make too much of a difference to go 18 to 20, but maybe we can get down to here by, let's go 18. Fill fuel, I'm going to put 18 down. If we get a fuel leak, we have to head back for home, or we ditch on the way back home. That's the scary part. So if you start getting weird stuff in the way in, you got to start thinking about just bailing out, calling it a day. Place destination and Lysander aircraft. I don't use this. It's not anything against the game. It's just me. I tend to do everything on the cards. Stationer. Stationer is one of the farther ones. Right there. And we'll rotate this, but that's probably the last time I'll touch it. Probably me more being lazy than anything. I'll be right back, guys. This is going to be ongoing. I'll get interruptions a lot. I'll be right back. All right. Let's see here. Where was I? Place destination marker. Place my Lysander game counter, which I've already done. Go to D and take off. And this is where things start getting interesting. Take off. We can expend reroll by expending a pilotage, or we can expend Moxie chits to get +3. And that is my sore spot right now, and something that I want to expend as soon as I start getting some training in. Expand, not expend. So weather effects DRM at low is 0. Night DRM is 0. Fuel packs and cargo -2, -2, -2. We're at -6. I'm going to use. I'm going to use 1 Moxie. We've got a long flight ahead of us, so I'm going to use 1 Moxie to take it to a -3 and see what happens. 6. That takes us to a 3. Possible fuel system failure. We're hoping to not get a 1 to 2. And we get a 6. No failure. So that's a successful takeoff, which is good. I mean, if I hadn't used that, we'd have been looking at -6 would have taken us down to 0. Possible crash landing, and still would have made it with the safe. But I still like. I'm glad I took the chance on the Moxie. Anyway, we are aloft. I like to put down anything I had trouble-wise on takeoff. So we're going to go ahead and put if I could spell, that would be amazing. The engine chugged a little bit on takeoff, but even out. How's that? That kind of tell me that I had some issues on takeoff. All right. Let's see here. That's First steps out of the way. First hurdles out of the way. Let's get rid of the calendar for the time being. Maybe I can find my SOP better. Determine weather effects for the next TC. And this is where we'd start hoping for some luck to keep our weather decent. And we're hoping to not have to land in this crap. Or we're hoping to not have to worry about damage. Oops, we're rolling a D6 first. 4, it progresses. So that is going to take us up to wind and clouds. And then we're going to roll one more time. 1. Ouch. That's going to take us to heavy clouds and wind. That did not work very well. That makes it so that we're looking at possibly having to abort this somewhere along the line, but we're going to see what happens. I just don't want to get into where I'm rolling for damage while we're flying out. That was not a good roll to start. Optional reveal, don't need it. Select altitude. We're going to stay with low. We're going to fly to the next TC. We're going to move our plane over and knock off another time segment. And as you see, it moves our fuel down to 0. Oh, not 0, down to odd 17. Sorry, yeah, a little brain dead sometimes. Icing check, weather effects damage check. We don't have red, and we're at low altitude, so we don't check either. No night faders, no threats to resolve, no decision. Going to check for off course. And this is where it starts getting interesting. We're probably going to get lost early on and have to go back anyway, so I'm not really going to worry about it if we do. I'm just actually looking to see if we can make it through the mission, great. And if not, we've got a little extra flight time on our logs. We can re-roll this by expending a pilotage chit. I still have 4. And we can try to orbit if we want or deviate, but then that's not going to, no, orbit. But I don't like doing that because the -4 DRM could get us hopelessly lost anyway. So let's go. Apply nav DRM from the turret card, -1 from the weather, -2. Night 0, wind goes down to -4, and we roll a 7. Goes down to a 3. Off course, no sign of expected waypoint. Draw and place TCs face down for flight to landing zone if outbound or time near. So we're going to draw channel, France, 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 France. Let's see. This could go south in a hurry. Randomly draw TCs to the destination card. Leave the destination card all uncovered. Always draw from appropriate deck. Keep newly drawn TCs face down until you arrive on TC or reveal it using a 6th sense. End of round. We go back up to the top. That did not work out very well. That's probably telling me that I just want to abort the mission and go home. I'm going to go one more card because if I get worse weather and I start taking damage, it will not be worth getting my Lysander all screwed up on a mission and make it harder on one of my better days. I still have 2 more good days and 1 decent day to try this in. And if I start racking up damage, I'm not going to have that. So let's see what one more day brings me. We're going to determine the weather effects for the next day, our next TC. And this is big. This is going to tell me what I want to do. First roll is a 5. That means it's going to progress, that's exactly what I did not want to see. We're going down to wind, rain, and clouds. And the next roll is a 3, staying the same. So wind, rain, and clouds. And I think what I'm going to do is say, I'm going to pause this real quick and see when I can choose to return to home, because I just might abort this before we go into that card. I'm not liking what I'm seeing already on this mission. I'm going to live to fight another day, and hopefully we can get one of these 3 days down here, get some better rolls. So let me look into that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so not liking that. The fact that we've gone one card and getting ready to go into the second, and we're already off course, and we do not like this damage. I am going to go ahead and turn it around. We have not yet determined our altitude. And we will have to get target weather for back home. So we may be landing in this bad weather as it is. So we're at heavy clouds and wind. And I hope I'm doing this right. We are still at heavy clouds and wind. Actually, we've turned around. I wonder if I need to fly into that one. I don't want to break the rules. If I turn around, I can determine the weather effects from my last reverse course. That'll tell me maybe a little bit more what I want to do. I'll be right back. You guys don't need to be listening to this while I decide what I want to do and whether I'm breaking rules or not. I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants here. A lot going on in this card, and it's probably in the rules. Um, I didn't like. We first off we got off course, and I didn't like the weather we drew for the next one. So I'm going to have to say that even just turning around, because all this going on, Uh, I'm going to mark some time off my flight, and I may be wrong doing this, but I think that we probably need to do that because we're kind of flying around making the decision. It's not going to make a difference in the whole grand scheme of things. The other thing I did read was special note on early return that if our projected arrival on a return flight is within an hour of our takeoff, or return flight, um, we're going to be using the wind as our return flight instead of the rain. So either way, we're going back this way, and I have to now determine weather for this card. That's why I'm giving it another. Um, I guess you call it, maybe I'm orbiting to do with a turnaround. I'll put an orbit card down orbit just to make sure. Because I didn't like what's going on. I'm going to turn around. We're going to draw weather for Tangmere. 4, it's going to it's going to move. That's actually beneficial to us. That brings us to a heavy clouds and wind. And then we're going to roll one more one, which is going to take it right on back to wind. And so no matter what I do, oops, undo that. So no matter what I do, we're dealing with the wind and the rain. But we're just going to fly back to Tangmere and deal with it there. Um, Optional reveal, don't need it because we're headed back home. I'm coming in low. Fly to the next TC. I've got to put 20 minutes back on. And icing check. We no altitude, so I don't have to worry about that. Damage check. I do have to roll for damage. Weather effects damage. D6. On a TC where the weather chip features a red square, roll for damage to your Lysander. Cross-reference the DRM on the top row. With the DR column on the left column for the number of hits inflicted on your Lysander due to weather effects damage. I haven't run into this before, so I got to make sure I'm playing it right. And if not, Thomas will let me know in the comments section, which is good because I don't like playing wrong. I want to know what I do wrong. Ignorance is not bliss. Damage, 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 damage. All right, so damage DRM on the top row. Low, medium, or high. Well, we're low. And D6. So we're going to be rolling a D6 minus 3. I don't think so. I think we just roll straight on the damage. Oops. How about that one? 5. Yes. I think we do have to roll it. Let's take a look at the shits a little bit. I'm still uncertain on this because I haven't played all of it. I would assume that we're looking at the -2, -3, -3. It's worse the higher you get. Cross-reference the DRM on the top row for low. I'm assuming that's the DRM on the top row and the DR on the left column. You know what? I'm going to play it with -3, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. -3, and I rolled a 5. That's a 2, and we're low. That's 2D hits. Ouch. 2D hits. I'm going to pause this again while I double check things here. Thomas has this in his playthrough, and I'm going to go double check it, verify. All right, I'm wrong on that, so that's good for me. I keep getting confused on this. That box right there is the weather nav for whatever when you're doing course checks. It also indicates whether you're checking for damage or not, but it's not a damage modifier. So I'm at low. I rolled 5, which is no hits, which is good. So now I can land. I'm getting this. It's going to be slowly but surely. I'm a rock sometimes. Like I said, there's a lot going on, and I'm just trying to get my brain. I keep waiting for my brain to be sharp again, and I think the only way I'm going to get it sharp again is just getting back into playing different games and exercising a little bit and starting to push some of these bad memories and things out of the way. So that's what we're doing. If Night Fighter following, no. Resolve threats, none. Decision point, we are at Tangmere and we need to get on the ground. So we will go ahead and land on table D5. We are rolling by applying the weather effects at L, and we are -2. Night DRM 0. Fuel DRM -2, that's -4. Pax DRM -2 is -6. Cargo DRM is -2, -8. Damage DRM 0, so we're at -8 right now. And I can add 1 for each Moxie chit I do. So I'm going to use 2 Moxie to land, and that's going to take me down to -6, and we're just going to take our chances with that. We can expend a piloting chit to re-roll, but we're going to lose these modifiers. I think we're going to lose them. I'm not sure if you lose them. Thomas, you'll have to clarify that somewhere along the line. If I do re-roll using a piloted chit, do I then have to use Moxie chits to modify it? I've been playing that you do have to. Anyway, moot point. We're going to go ahead and roll -6. Oh, good Lord Almighty! My dice have deserted me again. Possible crash. Roll a d6. 1 to 2 is a crash landing. 3 to 6 a safe landing. We got a 6. Oh, good Lord Almighty. Uh, all right, so we're on the ground. Deteriorated immediately. I wish I could spell fluently. All right, and then after a bumpy landing, boy, I cannot spell. All right, that's basically going to do it right there. We crash land. We did not crash land. We landed safely. We go to SOPG. Medicinal whiskey. After landing at Tangmere, you have the option to roll on D18. And I played that wrong last time. You do get the roll. You get the re-roll if you use the other chits. You always get the roll for this. We're going to see what kind of... Oh, fine vintage French champagne and Burgundy wine. A gift of the French resistance. I don't know why they gave it to me. Maybe because I tried. But, hey, at least we tried. We could have sat home and never tried. Records keeping, log the events in the mission. And actually, I'm going to start taking screenshots of these. What mission was this? Rather than keep a log, I'm better at keeping visual logs. This was June 16th. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So let's make a new folder. Call that missions. And we're going to put 6, 16, and I'm going to put a U after it, just so I know it was unsuccessful. and we're going to call that a PNG. Good thing about Bastel is I can go ahead and just save my mission logs. That'll log everything in here, the cards I had, how far or not far I made it. And the next step, proceed to SOPH, rest, healing, and repair. Advance the night mission, the night marker to the next. We're running out of time now. And we're going to do the same on the calendar. We're going to move that up to the 17th. All right. And repair of Lysander. We did not suffer damage, so we don't need to worry about that. Healing wounds, none, and proceed to the next flight. Go back up to SOPC. And that's where we're going to call it a day here. We've already advanced the calendar, so we're just going to be going to choose the mission. I'm going to go ahead and end the mission. I'm going to go ahead and put everything back on the assignments. Actually, you know what? I can leave those chits out because that's the only assignment I have right now. And if I get a special mission, I'll reset them out there. So there you have it. I know I'm a little fumbly and bumbly, but I hope I did everything by the book. It was another failed attempt, but an attempt nonetheless. And with the weather, I was fairly certain it wouldn't make out, but I was willing to give it a try because you don't want to waste, or at least I don't want to waste my full moon opportunities, especially on this long mission. I want to give it every opportunity I can to make it, but not jeopardize any of my future missions. So thanks everybody for joining me. SOE Lysander by Historic Wings, designed by Thomas Van Hare. You have a good night.